Oh my God. So it feels good to be sitting down in my office and doing this video today. You guys are normally catching me while I am on my walk or in the car lately, but sometimes it's nice to have some really good audio. Hopefully, this is really good audio to really just sit down and talk to you. And today what came to me when I was walking my dog was I really wanted to talk to you about how to take personal responsibility and accountability for creating more like balance in your life. More balance. What I say when I mean that is emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, all of those areas. So, taking personal responsibility and accountability for having less conflict within yourself, within your own mind, less conflict with the relationship you have with your body, less conflict that you have maybe with your children, less conflict that you have with work colleagues, less conflict that you may have with friends, less conflict that you may experience with family. Like, what, ask yourself, what part are you playing in these areas of your life feeling more stressful and just overwhelming than is really necessary? I truly believe that creating more balance, not just like time wise, but like I said before, all the other things mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. We can't keep pointing the finger at people like, well, this is happening with the economy, which things are happening and it sucks and it's annoying. Or, she did this, or she's always like this, or, they are always putting all this workload on me and, with my mom and like how she is here. Like, when we are always or when you, maybe that's why you're watching this video, when you're always, not always, but maybe a lot of times you are pointing the finger at the things, the circumstances, the reality, the people outside of you, but you don't take a look at yourself and really like just take a minute and ask, okay, where am I like the common denominator, like the mindset I have, or the thought process I have, or beliefs or behaviors that I have? Where am I like the common denominator in these areas of my life that are just so out of whack, that are just very overwhelming, that are very stressful, that cause me pain, that cause me health issues, that are causing me to, keep this weight on, that are causing me fill in the blank, whatever it is for you. Where am I so out of balance that I really need to take personal responsibility and accountability for it and really get conscious in it? Okay, so buckle up. Deep topic today. Um, Coming at you off the cuff like usual. I typically don't have notes. So I am going to share a personal example, and then I'm going to share a client example of something that I remember talking about with the client several months ago that came to me today while I was walking my dog. But personal example, my husband and I we kind of got into it yesterday. He is a landscape architect slash construction. Like it's the season, right? We're in April. He's super busy. Um, in high demand. He's working 7 days a week. And I get that. I understand that. And I'm okay with that. Like weekends, if you want to work 2, 3, 4 hours early, so you're home at 10 a.m. so we can do family stuff, that's great. That's fine. And I understand longer hours some other days. But anyway, I've been noticing a pattern to where he will say that, okay, yes, I'm going to be home at this time, or I only need this amount of time to do this thing for whoever. And yesterday I got really frustrated because my daughter was sick. I was up for 7 hours off and on, like every 45 minutes. So I was sleep deprived. So I'm feeling out of balance in my own body and like just in my mind because I had a really bad headache. And my daughter, she was waiting for her daddy to get home to take her to the playground. She got all ready. She got her new shoes on. She got her ice pop. She got her sweater on. Like she was ready to rock and roll and go. And he showed up really late. And it triggered in me when my dad never showed up, waiting by the window, waiting for him to pick us up, and he never came. And my daughter was doing that yesterday. She was waiting by the window, looking at him, waiting for daddy's truck to pull in the driveway, and he didn't show up when he said he was going to show up. And this is I'm gonna, circle this back and get to my point here. But so it triggered me from a childhood memory that wasn't good, and I expressed that to him. Um, because I saw how excited my daughter got, and she was waiting, 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 waiting. So I was pissed, and I expressed that. And then, anyway, fast forward in the evening, like they had a great time. They went to the park. They were going for hours in the afternoon. It was great. So I got some time to myself to kind of reset and just rest from not having sleep. But after we had put her to bed, I explained to him, I said, look, there needs to be like everyone is busy. We are all, and I share this not just to be about me today, my love, but like see where you can take this analogy in a certain area of your life. So I was telling him, I'm like, you're always going to be busy, especially now. Like there's never going to be enough hours in the day. Someone's always going to need something. There's always going to be a project that needs another thing or another project coming. But what we need to do if we're going to have a fulfilling life and really just enjoy the day to day and just enjoy this experience of children and just fulfillment and joy and just love and less friction is when we can create balance with our schedule, knowing that there's always going to be something that needs to get done, but you've got to cut off at a cutoff time and make it home when you say you're going to be home 9 times out of 10, not 5 or 6 times out of 10. So I would not let up on this because I am just so committed and just very what's the word? Like committed, but com I have I'm just so convicted in there being balance in our life and not living like the typical American family of hustle, make all this money to buy more, bigger, better, flashy, do this American picture. Like, no. Like we have a good life. We do a lot. We travel, we have leisure, like we do okay. But I don't want that. But I still don't want to lose sight of what's really important beyond, our blessings in life is when we say we're going to do something, we need to do it 9 times out of 10 because we got to leave room for human error. And it needs to be a big value and priority of balance, 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 balance of time. Because how many people do you know? And maybe this is you if you are a lot later in life. You get to your deathbed, or you're at a point to where the kids are going in and out of the house, or you have sacrificed so much to really make it in your career, and now you're at a stage where you're like, this is not as important as I thought it was. I feel like I missed out on X, Y, Z. Okay. So that's like a balance thing when it comes to relationships, when it comes to family, and when it just comes to having a healthy relationship. You've got to prioritize it above all else because at the end of the day, fulfilling relationships, really true joy, happiness is the quality of your relationships. Yeah. So anyway, we had talked about that, and I really respected and appreciated and was just seeing his brain working on, all right, yeah, you're right. There's got to be balance. There's always going to be busy. There's always going to be opportunity. There's always going to be this next big thing, but we cannot put that above our family values and the family dynamic that we want to have, right? So I'm happy that we had this conversation when I was less triggered, right? After we put Sasha to bed and he gets it. And we've already talked about moving things around with like daycare, drop off, pick up, um, to where that's a bit more even. And I'm not doing the most of it, right? And that's our daughter only goes to daycare 3 days a week anyway, sometimes four. Okay, so it's like, where do you? So let's use this. If you're like, great, cool, this isn't really relevant to me, but it is. But it is because you can just use this, family example here that I'm giving as an analogy for your situation. Here's one. I was talking about this with one of my clients, single, not married, not in a relationship, no children. maybe this will resonate with you, my love. But this first example, personal example I didn't give you did. She is upset with her, she's not happy with her health and her fitness and just how she is feeling mentally and emotionally on a day to day. Like she is, it's like a roller coaster, right? It's like a roller coaster of her feeling good and less conflicted and just like feeling less stressed and overwhelmed. But that's not good enough. Having roller coaster emotion of acceptance and of joy and of less stress. Like this needs to be a consistent way of living, being, and feeling. And it's going to require commitment. It's going to require you getting out of your comfort zone. I'm telling her, I tell her, and I'm telling you, and it's going to require you being okay with maybe disappointing others, or also require you to be okay with disappointing yourself and this identity that you've created that I always go above and beyond in the extra mile because I want to be looked at this way by your boss, by a colleague, by a family member, right? Like it's gonna, for you to really create balance and true like fulfillment and content and happiness and a good relationship with your inner child within, you've got to set some boundaries and really commit and get very convicted and non-negotiable on balancing like self-respect and just like your workload, your work schedule to make time for these other things, priorities, goals, values that are important to you. So anyway, I was telling my client, and again, hopefully this will land with you, like you are choosing to work extra hours in the evening and to not go to Pilates consistently. You are choosing to, when you don't have any plans, to respond back to to this friend who is not really a good friend. Their availability, their friendship is very conditional based on when it's convenient for them. So when they do reach out to you and ask you what you're doing and you get together and the time you spent together was all about them, it was like very just not a good time. No, no, just not a good friend. You chose to say yes to go out to dinner with them. Um, we talk about, I'm not just talking at my clients and telling them what to do as much as I am asking them questions on what they think that they can do better or on asking them questions on where they are abandoning themselves. And I help them get to answers. I'm just kind of giving you like the short version here, right? So it's like, where do you need to take personal responsibility? I tell my client, telling you right now, watching this video, where do you need to take personal responsibility on not trying to have all of your validation, approval, and lovability come from your work colleagues and from the people in your, career, right? Where are you working way too much and neglecting your physical health, neglecting your social life, right? Not having time to go on dates or having time to do your inner work of, it could be, journaling what is going good in my life right now, or journaling what I am grateful for, or journaling where you are scared to get out of your comfort zone in this area, but you are going to do it. Like journaling, writing, if journaling is like annoying to you, like where are you not making time to do the inner work? I say just I'm big on just getting a composition book and pen and like writing every day to do your inner work, to get to ahas, to get to clarity, and to get to understanding, oh crap, this is a pattern. This is a pattern in a cycle that I keep repeating, but you can start breaking these and overcoming them when it's like out of here and onto here, and then you can like connect the dots and you be like, oh boy, no. Because your pen to paper can be a good guide. It can be a good higher power coming through to you and helping you answer your questions. And you'll realize that, oh, wow, this is not even me writing right now. This is actually my higher power, universe, angels, God, whatever word you want to use there for your belief system of, higher guidance. So, like, back to this balance piece and taking full responsibility and accountability. Like, you can't wait for circumstances to change, for the economy to get better, for a different president to come into play, or for your mom to finally understand this, or for this friend to finally do whatever, or for this guy to come into your life. Like, don't wait for that stuff because then you are just kind of letting life happen to you and you're not being the creator and the just like the master of your own life. You're not being a responsible adult if you're not taking personal accountability, responsibility and accountability for what you choose to believe, the things you think, the actions you take, and the boundaries you set. And you hear me talk about it all the time. I'm big on boundaries and speaking your truth and doing so from a like regulated place. So the balance piece, what in your life right now, I'll wrap this up. What in your life right now is not going good for you? Where is your biggest struggle or challenge? Is it with your health, feeling good emotionally and physically each day? So like with your health and your fitness. Okay, where are other things taking priority? Okay, that are eating up time to where you're not able to walk a couple miles a day or to where you're not able to work out with a personal trainer. Where are you maybe, well, what do you mean? Well, are you having a lot of social things to where you're going out for happy hours or going to do things that you're spending, 60 to 100 bucks a week on eating out or doing this thing to where it's like with crappy people when you could be paying a personal trainer to do that? Or forget the personal trainer paying, but are you spending an hour or two with certain people or with a certain show on Netflix to where you could be walking or going to that community yoga class that's only $5? Okay. Are you feeling really burned out and stressed with work, with doing something that you used to love because you're doing it 60, 70 hours plus a week, right? And are you not working extra hours because this is how you get attention from the higher ups? But here you are burned out and depleted. Can you respect yourself enough to be like, no, I'm going to show up at this time. I'm going to finish up at this time. And maybe you aren't as successful or high producing as the other people in, um, in your job, in your career. But can you be okay with not neglecting all these other areas of your life to be, I guess, mediocre, to be okay, employee or contractor? Because that's one thing, and this is something women always have a problem with. We're trying to outwork other people or prove that we can do better or that we do more. But yeah, but what's that cost? Health issues, don't have time to date and start building a healthy relationship. Um, you're short-tempered and short-fused, so you're not showing up as your best in these other areas of your life. Like, at what cost is working so much? Like, at what cost is like, are you doing that? Now, I am not trying to make you feel bad, criticize you, or judge you by any means at all. I just want to be, my intention is to just really be honest and transparent here on YouTube and on this channel because I think we don't get a lot of that. We get a lot of facts thrown at us from people like me, talking heads like me, from coaches. Facts, do this, this is best, this is what you need to do. They're all prim and proper. And it's like, well, but you don't hear that much about their personal life. Or if you do, it's all the good stuff. I'll say this and wrap up, so maybe this will be more relatable for you. I was someone that identified with being what made me feel worthy and valuable and successful was being a successful coach, having a ton of clients, being on every social media platform, showing up, doing things, and really just like try to be the best of the best and give so much, information, value, share so much. And now I'm like at this stage of my life, I don't have the capacity for it, nor do I have the ambition or desire for it. So I've gotten to a place to where I'm like, I want balance in a lot of areas. My health and my fitness are very, very important to me. It's very important to me. My relationship with my child and with my partner are very, very important for me. I don't want to be short fused and triggered and take that out on my kid. I don't want to not have the time and energy to be available to my husband and to have sex on a regular basis. That is good for our relationship, right? I don't want to like give in all these other areas and not have any and give him crumbs because that's what tends to happen when we're in a relationship for a long time and when we have children, your spouse can get the crumbs and leftovers. And we know that ain't good. That can lead to divorce. That can lead to infidelity. That can lead to whatever, fill in the blank, just a lot of arguing. And it's also very important for me to not get burned out with doing my job as a life coach for women. So nowadays, what I do to fit all of this in, and plus the other thing is just a value and belief for me is I don't want I just don't want to put my kid in daycare full time and never really see her because I don't have to do that, right? I don't have one of those careers to where that is something I need to do. So now I drop her off most of the time by 8:39. I take a nice long walk. Well, first I walk my dog, then I take a nice long walk for myself, or I might have my personal training session, or go to the gym, or I always do my yoga practice in the morning. I have my latte, I do my writing, I do my reading, and then I start work at like 10 a lot of times, give or take, more or less. And I'm only working like 4 hours a day, 3 or 4 days a week, because it's important for me to continue to do my healing work with these things that come up now that I'm a mom. It's important for me to make sure I just want to make sure our house is like nice and comfortable and a good place to be in. I want to make sure that I am just like decluttering things and things are organized. I want to make sure that the trips we plan for, they're thought out. They're not just like last minute things of what we're going to do there. I want to make sure I have time to meet some of my friends and family that I can meet during the work week for coffee. I want to have time to just do other errands. I want to have time to do research for my career in ways of like connecting with other people and creating things, retreats, workshops. So now a days at this stage of my life, 41 almost, with a 2.5-year-old, trying to get pregnant again with another one at this old lady age. I'm joking, but I'm also being serious too. I'm more picky or not picky, discerning about who I work with personally, one to one for 3 months. I charge more now for my services. And I find that by having more of a higher end exclusive coaching with my ideal clients, they show up better and I show up better. And I'm just not overwhelmed and stressed that much. The only time I'm really overwhelmed and stressed is when I'm lacking boundaries with the challenging people in my life and when I'm sleep deprived from my kid being up, from being sick. Hence, that was what my life was the last 2 nights. If you've gotten this far in this video, thank you. I appreciate your time. I do not take it lightly because this means that you are on a journey of personal responsibility and accountability and getting outside your comfort zone, and you're truly committed and probably a lot closer to being ready than you realize of taking back your power, breaking generational patterns, and really creating a life that feels aligned, that's on your terms, okay, that feels fulfilling, all right, and authentic. And that's it. It's non negotiable. So if you've gotten that far into this, great. You get it. You would probably love to work with me one to one in a Confident Woman Unleash. So if that's speaking to you, go to the description, go to my website, do your due diligence, read about me, my work. Um, the clients, read their reviews and then book in a call if you want, a clarity call. We'll have a chat and see if working together over the next 90 days is a good fit for you. I would love to speak with you. And yeah, you're probably just ready for more balance, more alignment, and creating a life that you want. And bravo. Good. I love it. Glad you're here and you've been with me this long. If this was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I hate saying that, but I want to remind you to do that because sometimes we have to be reminded. And the reason why I want you to give this a thumbs up, subscribe, is it increases the likelihood that we'll stay connected, every single week. That's the only way you'll probably get notified of a video in your feed. Feel free to leave a comment or ask me a question in the comments as well if you want to ask me anything. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching. Perhaps you might want to check out this video up here. Maybe it's something that can help you along your journey right now. Or we'll be speaking in clarity call if that's speaking to you. And yeah, check this out. Book a call. Let's have a chat if you want to work together. And also, I'll see you in another fresh video later this week or next week. Okay. And really think about deeply not being like mad or annoyed or frustrated with me, with being very transparent, but really get honest with yourself, dude. Where do I need to take personal responsibility and accountability and stop pointing the finger at other people? Because like that's like not helping me. Right? Okay. All right, babe. Thank you for watching. And until next time. Bye.